The most talented Duke team in 25 years won 10. The most talented Illinois team ever, 67 in Madison Square Garden. This season has fallen off the rails for Illinois. This result is the most lopsided loss in program history. Can't believe I'm saying that, but 43-point loss to Duke. Duke's walk-ons came in and hit shots in this game. Spencer Hubbard with the dagger three-pointers to put a cap on this. Card on this specific Saturday night, Illinois shot 2 for 26 from three. That is 7% from three-point range. I believe they missed like their first 15 in this game or something insane like that. Everybody on Duke was making shots, 52% for three from them. I can't even single out specific players that I thought played well or played poorly in this game. Everyone for Duke played well. Everyone for Illinois pretty much played poorly. And this is one of the most mismatched results, mismatched basketball games that I've watched with my eyes between two respectable programs that I've ever seen. I mean, I know Illinois like has become the butt of the jokes where they played UConn in the NCAA tournament. This felt like that UConn run, but for 40 minutes against Duke. It felt like if this was an 80-minute basketball game, they would have lost by 90 instead of by 43. So, what do you do with this? What'd you make of this, watching this?
7%, man. 7% from three. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. 7% from three, even worse from 2-point range. Just like a dominating performance. One, you burn the tape. I don't even know what you could take from this game. They just got absolutely dominated. This looked like varsity versus JV, which is crazy to me for a team of Illinois' capabilities. They didn't belong on the same floor as Duke in this basketball game, and this team's inability to shoot threes is is utterly just shocking. Like for the fact that they went 2 for 26 from three. You have Ben Henriquez 0 for 5. I mean, it's not shocking because like these guys, I mean, they're just not, they don't shoot the ball well. And I get not being able to shoot the ball well, but you got to have guys be able to step up and hit some shots in some moments. Like you and I watched the Michigan State game. Michigan State, not a great 3-point shooting team, not a high volume team. It was a big ass moment. We needed guys to knock down some 3-point shots, and we had guys step up and knock them down. This Illinois team's not doing that. Despite that, because everyone points to the shooting, you gave up 110 points in this basketball game. You provided zero resistance whatsoever. Like not an inkling of it. Spencer Hubbard scored in this basketball game. Anyone who checked in scored for the most part. I know that's an embellishment because everyone checked in this game, but for the most part, everyone that checked in scored. It was open season for on this with the Illini defensively. It's just I don't know. Just I'm not saying I expected Illinois to win this basketball game, but to lose in the fashion they lost, and having the season go the way it's turned this past couple of games, it's sad to see.
Feels like a team that's going through the motions, right? Like I saw
Yeah.
some interviews with players after the game, and Trey White was one of them. And I know he's had a hard time the last month coming in and out of the lineup. But like, they asked him after the game, like Trey, what do you even try to take from this game? He was like, well, it's just another lesson for us, just another loss. Like that's where we're at. Just got to add it to the list. It's another lesson. Like I hate where this team is at mentally. And it is visibly apparent. Like I don't know what you do with it. It just feels like a team that knows impending doom is near. Feels like us with our YouTube channel right now. Like we're going through the motions of
Hey,
trying to
we're
make
showing
content.
up. We're showing up, damn
We
it.
are, but like you and I would be lying to be like we're trying to win a championship right now. We're just trying to get to tomorrow and get to the finish line. And I feel like that's readily apparent with this Illinois team. Did you like the way they tried to approach Cooper Flag? I thought 16 points for him on 10 shots, 5 for 10 from the floor, 1 for 1 from three. Did get to the free throw line 5 times. He's sensational, obviously 16, 7, and 5, but they did a decent job making him give the ball up. Just I feel like when we previewed this, we talked about the opposite. You got to let Coop eat and stay home on the shooters. That's not what Illinois did. They left Sion James wide open, and he went nuclear. He hit two threes right away. So I don't know. Were you okay with the way Illinois approached this defensively, or were they just gonna have problems no matter what?
I think they're gonna have problems no matter what. But to your point, they kind of just went through the motions. I think it was Joel Berry who I was listening to. He said this looked like a glorified practice. It kind of did. It looked like Illinois was out there to give Duke a look, give
Yeah.
Duke a look on what teams like look like when they guard him like this. And Duke's like, okay, this is nice to get a little run in, break a little sweat at Madison Square Garden. Um, it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know. And I saw a lot of discourse about like this Illinois team being soft, like them being soft, and that's why it looked like this. Where do you stand on that? Because is this team soft, or is it just like they are just going through the motions? Does that make them soft because they're going through the motions? Where do you stand on that?
Um, I,
Because I know you hate
individually, I don't
I
think
know
a
you
lot of
hate
these
I
guys
know you hate
are.
the discourse about that. Like the oh, this team, what they're not, they just don't want it enough.
I mean, they're missing Merez, and Merez is the guy who's like definitively not soft. I Here's derogatory terms I would use on each of these players. I think Kasparis is not soft because he's mentally a dog, but finesse. He is finesse. He wants to play away from the basket, even when he had chances to go up for layups in this game and was kicking to the corner. Like you need to be more aggressive, more physical than you are, and he just keeps playing the step back three game, and his number keeps tanking from three. Visich, I think, is soft. He doesn't want to go inside ever, use his size. He doesn't want to do it. Kylan Boswell, I don't think is soft. I thought he actually played well in this game. Trey White, I think, is a losing player, but I don't think he's soft. Hamrickhouse is soft and a losing player. He's unplayable. And DGL is probably the only guy on the bench I would say is not soft. So yeah, I don't know. Add it up. You can use that term if you want. I don't know. I feel like this is a team full of inexperienced, disconnected individuals that has not come together to play as a cohesive unit once in conference play.
Right? It's like who do you look to? Like everyone's looking to the. It's like Kylan's looking at Trey, Kasparis is looking at Big T's looking at Ben. They're all looking at Brad. Brad's looking at them. Brad's looking at Tyler. Tyler's looking at Orlando. Everyone's just kind of just like, what's going on here? And you know, you can put together all the talent you want, and honestly, I might be done using the word talent with this Illinois team. This team just is not it. They don't have continuity. I don't think they don't have a guy they can look to in times of adversity to pull them out or lead by example. Um, and this is what it looks like when you play a team of Duke's caliber.
Yeah, I mean it's a historically great Duke team, right?
It's
Duke,
also this also is Duke, not to make it excusable, but like Duke Duke can do this to teams.
yeah, Duke is they are the second best team in the history of the Ken Palm database. So they're that good, right? And so much of the story has been like, oh, it's the ACC. They just get to create margin. They just beat Illinois by more than they beat anybody in the ACC by. So I fear this is a pretty obvious indication of where this season is headed. I think Duke is going to waltz to a title. I think they're in a different stratosphere than even Auburn. And this is a reminder that when Duke wants to get up for a game, this is what it looks like. Now, say what you want about Illinois. That's still an NCAA tournament team. We can shit on them and say there's all these questions. This is like, at worst, a top 30 team in college basketball. And Duke just made them look like the worst high major team in the country. So. I think this all comes back to how good Duke is. It dawned on me when watching this game. Number one, they're huge. They funnel everything to man, but all of their guards are massive. All their guards are bigger than everybody they play against. They all are shooting threats. They all shoot well from three. Then you have these luxuries off the bench in Isaiah Evans, who let's imagine you drop Isaiah Evans on Illinois. He's Will Riley without a 2 month long slump. Caleb Foster doesn't even play for Duke. If Caleb Foster was on Illinois, he would start at the two and probably be your most reliable player. So I made the joke at the top, but like there are levels to talent. There are levels to talent. And Duke is a historically talented basketball team. Illinois is one of many teams we see every year that builds around a couple one and dones that doesn't live up to their expectations. We see five of those every single season. Shout out to Eric Musselman at Arkansas. Shout out to Juwan Howard at Michigan. There's nothing uniquely memorable or special about this Illinois group. I'll remember they had some Europeans that were here for 4 months. Duke is a team we will never forget, and this was just the most obvious indication of that.
Yeah, and you just hope that, in a moment like this where you have an opportunity on a very big stage, everybody watching Madison Square Garden against a Duke team, you can play loosely, you know what I'm saying? Like you're the underdog card, play that card. You just come in and you were never in the basketball game from the moment you stepped on the floor. Didn't look like you belonged on the floor with Duke. Yeah, you hate to see that. You don't want to see that. And look, now you're putting all this pressure on yourself because God forbid they lose at home to Iowa. Then like conversations start like, is this team going to make the tournament?
Yeah. I mean, they're safely in the tournament still, right?
I don't. I was watching Field in '68, and I think Rocco mentioned like they need to win at home against Iowa to like be safely 1,000% in.
I think they're safely in the tournament.
I think they are too, but like I don't know. I listen to my dog. I listen to Rocco and Harkins when they speak, and they said that they need to beat Iowa.
I do too. I think they're safely in the tournament. I'm not overly worried about this. We'll see. If they have a disaster loss coming up, then yeah, sure. But
Because they're probably on what 8-9 line.
yeah, around there. I mean, even if they say they lose out, if they're 17 and 14, I still think they're in the tournament.
You think?
I do. I do. The Wisconsin win early, the Missouri win early,
Yeah,
Ar even Arkansas and Oregon, those are wins that have aged okay.
yeah, yeah. True.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Let it play out. But if they get one more win, I think they're guaranteed in, and they're going to get one more win. It might even come at my team's expense in Ann Arbor. I'm
They're
still
also
pretty
not
worried
losing at
about it.
home to Iowa.
You don't think so?
Actually, let me not think. Let me not say that.
That's, just be careful.
Yeah.
Brad's comments after the game, did you hear anything about what he was saying? He had some weird Cooper flag, like I hope Coop stays in college. He'd be better there than he is in the NBA. We're going to do a short about it, I think, later with Dion. He also said he wants to keep shooting threes. He had an
Yeah,
in-game interview about that. Yeah.
I heard that part. I don't know because I get like you don't want to have a team that doesn't shoot threes. I agree with that. I think most people would like but I don't know. I just don't know how you resonate. I just don't know if that's the comment I want after I just shot 7% from three in a 90-point loss.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you there for sure. Step back broadly for me. What is the biggest issue that has plagued Illinois this season? When you're trying to like write the story of Illinois basketball 2024, 2025, what was the biggest thing that went wrong? Could have been something in the offseason, could have been something in the season. I think there's plenty of answers here. But what is the biggest overarching issue that has led to this result for Illinois?
That's the thing about it is I feel like the issue is a culmination of things. I don't know if I can pinpoint one that is the biggest. Um, oh, I don't mean to go quiet here, but I'm really trying to nail down what I think is. Would you mind going first?
I mean, I'll give you different things you could choose as answers. I think the sickness is real, the injury stuff is real,
Yeah,
just attrition from players. I think you could argue lack of continuity in the offseason. They had opportunities to bring back members of the team from last year that were the most successful one in Underwood's era, and they just kind of said, "No, let's get everybody out and start fresh." I think you could say inexperience. I think you could say just like age. I think you could say the 3-point shooting and Brad's insistence on this team being a high volume 3-point shooting team. Those are all good answers to me that I would buy.
I think I'll go with the 3-point shooting consistency given what his personnel is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be it.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like Colin Boswell hasn't hit a three in Big Ten play.
Right. I was thinking about this. This is probably worth a broader conversation at some point, but just a simple, quick answer on this is fine. They built this thinking a lot of these guys could be back for next year, and maybe some of that continuity would start to come back. How many of these guys do you even want back for next year? Like, do you want Kylan Boswell back next year if you're Illinois?
My answer is no.
He's been a huge part of their problems, but at the same
No.
time, like in theory, he's supposed to be like a year two transfer that gets better for him.
Yeah, but I would say no right now.
So which guys do you even want back if you're Illinois?
Kasparis, Will
Well,
Riley.
you're not getting Kasparis back. Will
Okay.
Riley's iffy.
All right, so we'll leave those two guys out. I mean, you know how I feel about this, but you want Big T back, right?
I do want Big T back.
Okay. And that's iffy to me. I would go DGL, DGL, uh, Big T.
How many of these guys do you think you're getting back?
Don't you get Jake Davis back? You probably want him back, I guess.
Do you?
I don't know.
We sure
Maybe it's
Jake Davis isn't going to Indiana where he's going to have a career year?
he could take the Luke Goody pass. I don't know. This has been a rough year to say the least for Illinois, which started off like with so much just like promise. Like this roster's so talented, and they had the big win at Oregon where they look like one of the best teams in the country. Everyone's picking them to the Final Four, and now they're at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Um, I don't know. I don't know where this goes. I'm worried about it for sure. But last note, there is some corners of the internet that are doing it's time to move on from Brad.
Stop, stop, just stop. No,
Give the official statement on that, please.
just no. Listen. First of all, we can look across the country. Great coaches have down years. That happens. And not a year ago, this guy took you to the Elite Eight, got you the second weekend, somewhere where you have not been in a long, long time, with a team of players that he brought on, that he picked and kept on Coleman. And I think he made some mistakes this year with this team, and I think he knows that. And also, some things didn't go his way this year. And I know that's life, and you got to adjust, and you got to take adversity head on. But the fact that you people want to move on from Brad is crazy to me. I if I'm an Illinois fan, absolutely no way. And also, like, just know when you bring up those comments about like wanting to be Brad, like get rid of Brad, also know that someone has to replace Brad. Who are y'all getting? With all due respect,
Right. Yeah, it's not like there's a great answer here.
right? There's really not. So,
Ah,
oh
okay.
God,
I'm not fueling the fire, but I have to speak for the people that would. If Indiana is serious that they're not considering Chris Beard, but Chris Beard is shaking ass for the Indiana job. If you could backdoor your way into Chris Beard, because I would never even entertain for 1 second moving on from Brad. I want to make that clear. But I think that's a reasonable outcome here. Like if hypothetically Brad decided to leave, I think Illinois could backdoor their way into Chris Beard if they wanted to.
that would be nice. Except he has the connections to Indiana, though. There is no really Illinois connections.
You're right.
But if that was the case, yeah. I mean, obviously, Chris Beard is one of the best in the game, but I don't know. Coaches have down years, man.
I will throw a conspiracy theory out there.
Oh no, you can't help it, can you?
I feel like it's a lot more likely to me that Brad is going to leave in the middle of the night than Illinois would move on from Brad. But something feels off about this. The things he's saying and the way he's operating just does not feel right to me, you know?
I think shit will hit the fan. They lose at home to Iowa.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta find something. Because I wanted this was a part of my point, I think.
I can let me go ahead and fill this space real quick here. I just want to make something very clear too. There needs to be some accountability on these Illinois players to hit a goddamn shot.
Sure.
2 for 26 is crazy, man.
Sure.
Truthfully, and I'm all for like uplifting people and pushing positivity, and you'll hit the next one. Actually, hit the next one.
Sure.
Your best shooter can't go 0-5 from three.
Sure.
Spares
Um,
can't go 0-4.
this is what I was going to say. Have you seen Illinois' recruiting class for next year?
I have not. No.
Keaton Wagler and Brandon Lee.
Portal.
Yeah. Or I mean, he's been in Europe all season, right?
Is Brad gonna go coach Barcelona?
No, I'm just it doesn't exactly feel like there's like some foundational year over year stuff here. Are we
That's true.
really we're burning this down every summer to rebuild it for one
Well,
year
you
over
you
and
get you
over?
get Mraz back.
Do you?
See, that's another thing. I'm out here seeing like Mraz is gonna shop.
Right. We think we're getting Merez and Big T both back.
In theory,
That doesn't feel super likely to me.
no, nothing feels likely with it's Illinois.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I'm doomsdaying. Look, if I'm Illinois, you do everything in your power to keep Brad Underwood forever. But I think there is a trail of breadcrumbs here that could indicate that this may not last forever. That's all I'm saying. And you listen to him talk right now, it feels very all over the place. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's weird.
yeah, I agree.
It's weird. All right. Credit to Duke. Great performance. Illinois still has 2 weeks left to save their season. We'll see how it goes.